Oh, good morning. Excuse me. Okay, I promised every day, and that's the plan here. And I'm going to. I got some things I'm doing with my. I had to drive my dad 6,000 miles, go 1,500 to get him, 1,500 back, and then 4 days from now, 1,500, take him back out, 15 back home. Right in the middle of a large project I'm doing on my house. Getting everything in order here and getting this filming going. So these will be every day. I want to reference back to yesterday for those who are following with me on this. Look and see that my lens is open, and it is. And them little hairy things that were on the top of the film, that's not a skunk tail, but whatever they call it, that thing, air thing they put over the speaker, or the microphone, cat's tail. And I brushed the hairs up this time, and I think maybe the hairs won't be hanging down. I don't know if anybody noticed that or not, or wondered what they were. Yesterday's post I'm looking at here, and that awful Miley Cyrus was just awful. What she's going through. And that's the stuff I'm working on here. Her and all the rest of the kids and us kids before them, what we went through. Now she's doing the dope thing with the marijuana and whatever other dope, and or just marijuana, whatever it is. But you know, our kids are stifled. You know, they can become a nun, or they can do what she's doing, but don't do dope. But she's doing dope, and that black guy that the kids all like so much. Young guy, he's I can't remember his name now, but he's dope. And so they're making dope just cool, you know, and then speed comes in there with the marijuana, and everybody's just tattooing themselves to no end, and, you know, doing strange things with their hair, and it's just crazy. You know, like the black guy does the thing about the guy with pants, pull your pants up. He's an adult too, and they're trying to figure it out. But what's going on here is everything is so crazy, and particularly for the kids, that they just, you know, try to find their way in this mixed up, scrambled eggs, cultural value, moral, ethics, sexuality. Everything you can think of is thrown into the jungle, and all these different influences on the internets, and then there's the Puritans, the whole big thing about them. But so that's what, then all the distortions brought forward, and then I'm bringing up on these with these stimulants. So we got stimulants on top of stimulants on top of stimulants, and throw marijuana in there. Throw a bunch of religion in there and moral values, and you know, you go over the Mideast, and then women are not allowed to look, and you got all these different cultures. You know, the whole Mexican thing coming up, which is some kind of a Catholic conversion that they've adopted within their own culture, and they're real dominant on their women, you know, and they think that that's good, you know, that this way that they've evolved to, because nobody wants this English one, the English maybe want, and the Republican Christians, you know, nice people maybe want, but it's so unnatural, and it's so out of value, and it's so out of tune. But of course they can't see that, these Republicans and conservatives. They just think everything else out there is dirt, except for their polish, you know, and their perfection, and their hairdos, and their lifestyle, and they're just Mr. Democracy, Mr. USA, you know, get that flag just a flying in the wind, you know. And so there we are. I forgot to look at times. So that's why I put some of that stuff on the website from here and there. I don't know what else I had on there yesterday. Obama, everything he's going through. He's trying to be a regular guy, you know. They're doing the gorilla thing with him. You know, it's just tougher and shit. Obama's trying genuinely to help this thing along in a genuine way. Everybody knows that the conservative element and the Republican element is just more and more of the power and the wealth structure and the destruction of the earth and the destruction of the cultures. So he's 50-50. He's half white and he's half black. I don't know why that makes him a black man instead of not a white man with black, you know, but that's the way it works. And because he's not really a black man, he's not even American black. You know, his dad was from over in Africa, and his mother from Kansas. The man, you know, he came up in the drug years. You know, and they've said that, and I believe it, that he was the go-to guy, you know, in the fraternities there, picking up side money, dealing dope. He didn't just have a puff and say that he didn't inhale. The guy was a user, a smoker for a number of years, and maybe even a heavy one. And he's taken on the whole ideal, you know, of this homosexuality thing and what involvement he may or may not have had. But, you know, they're going to take this lesbian, gay, bi, trans, forever, you know. I don't know where, just like the marijuana, it had to roll, it had to go. But where does it end? And where is the actuality in human instincts? We got people all across the world standing up and saying, you Americans, and you're trying to bring that to us? You know, all your gay and all your dope and... Well, yeah, that's what we're doing, and all in the name of, and with Christianity as the shroud, and the niceness and the good, you know, the Sarah Palin drill, baby drill. So, and this is all stimulant driven, this whole basis, and that's the basis of the Bunnell farm, is the sugar, carbohydrates, and caffeine, and alcohol, and nicotine. And you know, all the fruit has been hybrid, and now we ship it in by the shipload in big baskets of grapes and cherries and sugar, 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 sugar. Again, again, again. Same song. That's all you'll ever hear me sing. Same song. I'm going to play some music for you. Not going to do it right now, but same song. It's just a little Montana that I picked up somewhere. My good one's out in the truck, and I got it covered up with a bunch of stuff right now. But so here we are. I don't know how many minutes this is, and I'll take a look at the thing here and shut it off and post this. So here we are, every single day from now on out till I'm dead. Current events. The same old song I'm singing, sugar, sugar, sugar. I'll get 5,000 whatever they call them, choirs and bands and Beethoven and sugar, 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 sugar. Carbohydrates are sugar. Sugar is carbohydrates. So that means all of our fruit, all of our grains, all of our milk and dairy, and our entire food chain. Yeah, stimulant, 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 and there's all this pissing insanity, and that's what we've evolved to here, inappropriately and accidentally. Now we're going to try to bring this thing into focus. I don't know what we're going to do with this. I have no idea. This thing is really huge. I mean, it's bigger than the galaxies, and bigger than the Milky Way, and bigger than the universe, and longer and more important, you know, as the light years away. How light travels, I don't know, 1,000,007. I mean, light travels really, really fast. And, you know, a baseball bat, you could hear the bat, excuse me, the sound, how sound travels, you know, but there's a little delay in there within a few hundred yards even. And light is almost instant, it's so fast. And then how far it travels in a year's time, and then when they start billion light years away. This thing is that big. For us, because we're the human race and we're the Earth, and in the universe times, it's just whatever it is, just nothing, and whatever happens is just nothing. But we're living creatures, you know. You can take a robin out here and grab that robin and go over there and tear that nest and grab them little babies, You know, there's destruction there of a life, and a complete life has been just completely demolished. You know, when you grab that robin, you grab that nest and the babies, and that's so it's important individually to every single human being and every creature. And that, and then there's those that went before us, and now we're here. We're these ones, and we got to solve this thing and do something with it, rather than just go on. And I'm some crackpot case because I'm dealing with this, and nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody even wants to look at it. They just everything just erupting in its own thing there. They're in Jerusalem, you know, 40,000 troops on the ground. Israel put soldiers with machine guns and airplanes and helicopters and bombs, and of course atomic bombs, and the Palestinians are taking them on, you know, with what weaponry they got, and sticks and stones. You know, this is a conflict over belief, it's a conflict over race, it's a conflict over territory, and the whole world's involved in it. And of course we're over there in the oil companies. You got Palestinians, you're talking Iran and Muslims is what you're talking, and you got Iran, Iraq, and Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and the whole Mideast, and all the oil, and then of course the Jews are deep into the money, banking populations, and so this thing is just huge, beyond belief, and where it reaches to, we can blow if we shoot, if Russia shoots, China shoots, and Israel shoots, and we shoot, and the Earth is hundreds of millions of people in a day, in 1 hour. You know, and I've said we could blow this thing right out of the orbit, the Earth. I don't know that we could do that. But I know that we could just completely obliviate. Now that's something that has never existed forever, and those are man-made, that bombs, and those are man-made bombs with all this intelligence and science, and the sugars and the stimulants is where all this stuff came from. Completely, how natural is even having the ability. I mean, when they first developed gunpowder and made where you could shoot a projectile 10 feet. Boom, but let's say fast. Well, now there was no more clubs and maybe even bows and arrows. You shoot bows and arrows was an invention too. But now it's not one man, one slug. It's the whole entire planet Earth, and it's huge warring armies. You know, and Rumsfeld thought, well, we'll do it with drones now. We'll just send drones in everywhere. We'll send in 100 drones. We got all the cameras rolling, and we'll just sit here in the room and just blow them to smithereens. And the more we need to blow them, of course we got 500 more drones and 1,000 more drones, and these are armed. You know, of course we got the warheads and the missiles, and Israel's got most of all this, and so does Russia, and China's developing, and a few other nations have little pittance of that. But and so why is it such a big deal? Well, it's such a big deal. If you were sitting there right when Hitler was bombing London, it was a hell of a big deal. The bombs, you know, I mean, he's got squads and runs of bombers flying over London, not flying over London, bombing the hell out of London. You know, over there loading up troops, yeah, and killing millions and millions of Jews. And taking over whole nations, taking over Europe, getting ready to take over Russia, you know, and so to think that these four, and then here China or Japan jumps in there and comes over and blows the hell out of Pearl Harbor, and here we come, the United States, you know, World War II. Well, we didn't have atomic bombs in those days. We got atomic bombs now. We used 2 of them to end World War II, and destroyed 60,000 people at a crack, just one boom, and took the second one before they would even believe this thing was real and existed. And that's just a pittance to what we got now. That's like a ladyfinger firecracker one time compared to the weaponry that we possess now. And then we've populated since then about, I don't know, 1940, and that thing started in 45 when it ended, the big part of the war. And I don't know if we had 2 million then, 2 billion then in world population or what, but I know we're 7 now. And then, you know, there's 20 million people in Mexico City. And that's just one little city. And you got the whole global earth here, and everything is designed to this farming of carbohydrates. The carbohydrates feed the animals, chickens and beef and pigs. The carbohydrates feed the human population. And it's all ship and air and truck. You know, I don't know how many millions of trucks every day and all that fuel and to get this shit delivered. So when you disrupt this food chain, and then the energy, you know, for people to cooking and eating and staying warm, and then of course all the processing and manufacturing, and so you disrupt that whole big food chain. This thing is serious, and it's the biblical proportions. But the thing about it is, it's not biblical per se. The biblical, they killed Jesus Christ, so the biblical could see the forces that we're not going to accept. You know, just the Jews. Now, the Jews were under control of the Roman Empire. It's the Romans that did put Christ on the cross. So those forces are so great. And then our natural instincts, that goes, I'll take that back to Millie Cyrus here. Our natural instincts are so distorted. Our aggressions and our sexuality and our family and our mating, and normally we're just going to be like those robins. We're going to raise our babies and live our lives in food and water and health and all the rest of creatures and even plant life. But everything's disrupted, and it just keeps being more and more disrupted and more stimulated, and nobody pays a bit of attention to it. It's like you're talking some foreign language when you talk about these sugars and starches and alcohols and caffeine. You know, it's just, how could that be? Well, it's as simple as, you know, a nose on your face or something. It's just absolutely nothing. Here's my water. I'm sure I've gone over. I don't know if this thing will accept or not. Maybe I can cut it and do it in 2. But I'm going to try to post this right now. Thank you for your time. And I hope you see this as reality and truth and not some fiasco and some fool. How's one man with a camera and the internet and a computer gonna have an effect on all this? Well, all I can tell you, I can bring the message forward and say, if we would put this on the table, if we would look at this, which is happening, you know, with the Katie Couric thing and that documentary, and there are some other forces out there working on it, because it's real. And with this, if we deal with this reality and what has happened, and I don't know, how do you change that? How do you stop feeding 7 billion people the entire food chain that's taken over with this? You know, so it's just a huge dilemma. And the meat thing is little better or worse, you know, but it's all we got. And so I'll turn it off. Thanks. Bye.